everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're gonna go over the post-grad life, which sounds so daunting and so scary, but I promise it's not as scary as it seems. So if you don't know already, I actually graduated from college around 2 years ago now, which is so insane. So I graduated 2018 and now I'm a full grown adult, like living in LA in my own studio and, you know, just trying to navigate through adulthood. So I feel like I have a lot of advice to give for everyone who is coming out of college and stepping into adulthood and all of that, which is why I decided to make this video just answering questions that you guys had about just becoming an adult or stepping out of college. And we're going to be touching on pretty much a lot of different aspects such as finances, jobs, friends, etc. So I specifically went on Instagram, and if you're not following me on Instagram, please make sure to do so, because this is how I interact with you guys. And if you want to be on my next Q&A, or if I ask any questions that I'm going to answer, then this is like the most interactive that I get. So I asked you guys what questions you wanted me to answer, and I actually got a lot of questions here, and I'm just going to go through them and pick the ones that I feel that I resonate the most or I can answer the most. And also, very important, thank you so much for 10,000 subscribers. I cannot believe that this has happened in my channel. I started YouTube 2019, so it's been a year, and honestly, starting it, I just did this for fun, like my very first video, and I just literally never imagined that that video would blow up or anything like that, and how this channel just came to be. And till this day, I'm just naturally always gaining subscribers. So thank you so much for all that support. It literally means so much to me, and I really wish that I can be talking to you guys in person. You know, it's a little bit weird talking to you guys through camera, but again, I'm just super duper thankful and just really happy that you're listening to me and seeing me grow, and also just going through this journey together. So yeah, that is pretty much it for my intro. And without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Okay, so the first topic I want to cover is friends, and how you went to seeing basically people every day the same age as you to not the same people and completely new coworkers and just new people, a new environment. Like, how was that transition? And to be completely honest, it was pretty hard. It was just strange going all your life just surrounded by people your age and just going through the same subjects and all the same level, to all of a sudden like a new environment where there was people that have been working for like 10+ years and all different ages. And it was definitely hard just finding people my age and just hanging out with those people. I just didn't really know anyone, and it was definitely hard at first, but I found out that the best way to make friends is to actually reach out to people who are around the same age as you. And I honestly just reached out to them via Slack. I remember going into my first internship, which was a post-grad internship, and I reached out to some other interns who were obviously the same age, even though we were not in the same floor, same building. I just knew who they were because HR sent an email with their names. So I reached out to them, and we ended up meeting up for lunch, and then from there we ended up hanging out after, doing activities, and that is how I became friends with them. But I feel that in situations like that, you have to be the first one to reach out to people, and you have to be able to get out of your comfort zone, because if I didn't do that, then I would just be completely alone, which would not be fun at all. So I would totally recommend to learn how to reach out to people, and most of the time they will say yes. Most of the time they're not going to be mean and say, oh no, like I don't know you, or like that's weird. A lot of times they're going to be like, sure, like we can go for a coffee or whatnot. And also I tried Bumble for finding girlfriends around the area, which I thought that was kind of helpful too. I did make one really good friendship out of that. And also a very good tip is to reach out to acquaintances or just people that you kind of know but are not friends with at the moment, or you were friends with them, let's say like in high school or even middle school, and you know that they live in the same area because you see it on Instagram or Facebook or just social media in general. I think a great way is to reach out to those connections and be like, hey, like I moved into this city and I'm new here. I want to like be able to make more friends. Like, do you want to go out for coffee chat or dinner or whatnot? And I think that's just like a great way to reach out to people that you kind of know and they know who you are, so it's not like completely random. and build those connections out of there. And that is something that I did here in LA. I reached out to some study abroad friends, and that's how we ended up being friends here. So it all works out. Just put yourself out there, reach out to people, and make the best out of it. Another person asked if I would have done anything differently to have a better college experience. And to be honest, my best college experience was traveling abroad. And if I could go back, I would honestly extend that to a year, just because it was so amazing. I feel that studying abroad and just being in a brand new environment with new people that are all the same age but are all open-minded enough to like actually go abroad and see new places and I guess be more adventurous, I feel that that just makes you grow so much as a person, and it kind of brings out different parts of you that you didn't know that you had within before. I don't know if that makes sense, but I just feel that when I went abroad, I actually became way more extroverted because I just stepped into a new environment. And I just feel like overall it taught me so many different things that I just would have never learned by just taking a class. And these are all like life lessons, not necessarily like, oh, technical or whatnot. But I do feel like a big part of college is growing as a person, and I feel like that's when you grow the most. And also it's one of those things that you will probably never have the opportunity to do so again. Like, think about it, when are you gonna be able to live in Europe for 6 months or so? So definitely recommend that, and I would totally do it for longer if I could. Also, another question that I wanted to answer that's kind of similar to that one is like if I regretted going to college or if I wish I could have just self-taught myself something and done so. I'm guessing it's coding. And honestly, even though I can self-teach myself coding and that is an option, I definitely don't regret college, because college is honestly all about bettering yourself and meeting connections, and also the fact that you meet so many other people that are the same age and you guys take all the same classes. Not only do you meet so many friendships, but you just make so many connections that will take you so far in life, even post-grad. So like if you're applying for a job, you will have so many people from your school connected on LinkedIn and you will be able to talk to them, etc. And also college is the very first time you get to live alone and learn how to do like laundry, learn how to take care of yourself, do your dishes, live with other people. And I don't know, there's just so much to college than just learning. But if you just want to learn and get a job and that's like your main goal and only priority, then go ahead and do so. But if you want more of like the college experience and be able to go through all of that, then I would definitely do it, and I do not regret it like at all. Another person asked that if the work I do now, if I actually did it while in college. I always say the biggest lesson from college that I feel that everyone can agree on is that you learn how to learn. So for example, in college you get thrown in new classes and you have to learn that material fairly quickly. It is sort of similar in the real world where you get thrown in like a new code base or whatever you're working on and you have to learn it fairly quickly and you have to perform on those tasks. So that's kind of the similarity. I always say that you just learn how to learn. But once you get into the real world, you know how to pick things up easily and be able to perform those tasks because you know how to learn, you know how to study, so that makes life a little bit easier, if that makes sense. Okay, so another person asked how I take care of my mental health outside of college and what I do now. So I personally like to take breaks whenever I need to, and also right now, if you do feel overwhelmed and burnt out, then mental health days actually count as sick days. So whenever I do just need to take a break, then I go ahead and do so. And also another thing that I do is to work out, because that just makes me think of the workout and not life overall. So I would personally just recommend going out on a walk or doing a YouTube video or yoga or whatnot. It doesn't have to be anything intense like doing HIIT workouts or anything too crazy. It could just be something small. And just taking those small breaks just really helps with my mental health, and also just taking care of yourself in general. So doing self-care. I really love doing skincare and putting on face masks, reading a good book. And I also just love taking care of my body. So just eating healthy. Right now I've actually been trying to do fasting just to get more mental clarity and all of that. So doing those things really help, and that's something that I recommend you doing once you step out of college, or even in college, obviously. And those things have definitely helped me stay more sane and just have good overall mental health. Okay, so another person asked, how do I manage time? And honestly, the best answer for that is 1, having a planner, and 2, making sure that you have a good daily routine, because what you do every day and those daily habits that you form is basically your life in general and what you accomplish. So what I personally do every day is to write my top 3 priorities that I absolutely have to get done that day. And then from there, I write down any other to-do that I have to get done but are not crucial in order to have, like, I guess, a successful day. And then also I have like a pretty good daily routine that I follow, and that just makes me work on other areas in my life that are not only work, because obviously life is not only work. There are other areas that you can focus on. If you do want to see a daily routine of what exactly I do to just balance things out, then let me know in the comments down below. Another person asked how to succeed in times of COVID and graduating during COVID, which I know can be a very stressful time because there's a lot of uncertainty and you really don't know what's going to happen. And I would personally say to use LinkedIn, just because that is like the digital way to make connections nowadays, just because I don't believe you can go into career fairs right now, or if they are virtually, then go to those, but just try to make as many connections and go to as many virtual events as you can in order to make those connections, because that is what's going to help you out the most. But know that it is okay and everyone's struggling. It's not just you. So just know that, and know that everything's going to work out at the end, and these things are totally happening for a reason, and you got this, and I just want to be your cheerleader. But yeah, it will work out, and don't stress out too much. Okay, and the last topic I'm going to touch on is finances. So someone asked if they should invest in a 401k or Roth IRA, and I would personally do both if you can. A 401k is more common when you're employed, so you will get a lot of benefits through that because your employer will match you. And what that means is that if you put a certain amount of money into your 401k for that year, then your company will match you whatever like your contract says. So it's basically free money, which is really, really great. And also Roth IRA is just good overall because you can actually start that without being fully employed. And then once you're employed, then definitely do the 401k and all of that, and then try to do both if you can. So that is kind of just like my advice and what I personally do. And lastly is, how do you pick stocks to invest in? And I personally just go with whatever I know. So obviously I'm in tech, so I really love tech stocks, but also note that you should definitely diversify. Don't only put your eggs in one basket or one segment. So I definitely have done my research, and that's like another big part of stock investments. You really have to know about the market and where things are heading. Where do you think that the future is heading and what's going to be needed and growing and all of that, and from there you have to make your decisions. So I would personally just read up on market analysis. I like using Yahoo Finance, and then there's also a ton of YouTube channels that talk about stocks specifically that I listen to get more information, and I listen to them regularly in order to just be more knowledgeable and know exactly what I should invest in or just thinking of investing in, because there is like a market trend that you know that is gonna shoot up or rise. And also I try to just be more conservative overall. I try to not be super risky, just because I know that you can lose a lot of money easily. Again, you can gain a lot of money, but something I've learned is that it's kind of random. Like, yes, you can predict certain things, but at the end of the day, you will not 100% be able to predict the future. You know, no one can. So that's kind of like my tips and sort of like what I do. So hopefully that was helpful. I am gonna finish it off there because the sun is coming down and I can already tell by the lighting that it's getting kind of bad. So I'm gonna end it there. I really hope that you enjoyed this and that you found this helpful. So yeah, let me know of any other video suggestions that you guys have, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.